Hey there, and welcome to a quick channel update and kind of content update. I usually do one of these about every month, but it's definitely time I do one now because some things have changed and may change in the future here. And I want to kind of let you guys know what's going on, what the plans are, and what's happening with some of the series. So we're in our Bob's Angels factory here. I'm just going to kind of let things work and knock out some researches while I talk, just so there's kind of something going on in the background. But there's a couple things I want to address. First off, I want to apologize if I jumble words up or get messed up. I am extremely tired when trying to record this. I haven't been sleeping well at all for some reason for multiple days in a row. And yesterday, Monday, did not feel well at all, so that's why there was no workshop or anything else. And that's why there was no Bob's today, because normally I record it the day before. And I was just not up for it. So that's kind of just why that happened. But then in regards to some of the other things, so the train set series I want to discuss because I've had many people ask me what's going on with that. You know, episode 6 came out like a couple weeks ago and nothing else has come out since then. And I'm trying to think how to put this to not try to explain it the best way I can. Essentially, what happened is we started out great, and then Mojo stopped joining, and this is absolutely no blame on him or anybody else. I'm just giving you the facts. That he stopped joining. He wanted to do some other stuff, totally fine. And then Will and I worked on it, and Xedith joined for a little bit to help out with stuff, and then Hansi Q joined for a little bit to help out with stuff, and we started realizing that to do what we really wanted to do, like with multiple trains and stuff, the smarts and such required to get all the coupling and stuff working was going to be absolutely insane, and neither myself or Will know how to do that, so we'd have to bring in someone else. Like Hansi Q and Zeta spent 3 hours just trying to add 1 or 2 extra trains to an outpost because of how complicated it had to be. And then Will has taken a very long hiatus, or even kind of stopped or given up on the serious gaming. I talked to him recently, and I don't really want to. It's not my place to give any details, but essentially, he hasn't been around much, and he's kind of been focusing on real life, and just kind of doing that, and either taking a very long hiatus or just stopping the really serious gaming and just kind of doing it occasionally when he feels like it, which is totally fine. But that's what's happening there. So essentially, the only one that would be left is me. Hansi Q, I think, still wants to play and would join. But the problem is that I can't do all that stuff myself. I mean, I could keep recording it on my own and such. They did a little bit of work, so I might be able to fit in one more episode just kind of as a preview of what's happened, like a tour. But other than that, it's I don't know how to do any of the smart stuff. I can do the coupling kind of, but only for one train. And it's really unfortunate that happened, because I know you guys really wanted to see it. This is not the first series that's just ended, and I really want to assure you that this is not my intention, and not a habit. I mean, it seems like a habit because it's happened a lot recently, but I certainly do not want to have it be a habit or seem like it is to just end a series whenever I find it inconvenient, because that's not the case at all. It's just, some things don't work out, especially when you do stuff with other people. That's the problem. When you do multiplayer stuff, sometimes not everyone can be there, or not everyone is having the inspiration, so it kind of just has problems, just naturally. So that's what's going on there. I just wanted to let you know because a lot of people have asked. So pretty much the answer is, right now, it's on hold, maybe permanently, maybe not. Kind of depends what's happening, and yeah. So I really do apologize if you were enjoying that. I was enjoying it, but if it's going to be really, really complicated to do stuff, and I would pretty much be the only one there doing it. And then also, we have Sending Supporters to Space. That series is not ended. What I've been doing is streaming it mostly because there's pretty much not anything worth making videos of right now, because everything's working great. The base is working great, but it's just launching rockets and doing science, which, I mean, that's what it's supposed to do. That's the goal, launch the supporters to space. But I'm sure you guys don't want to see 30 episodes of me just standing there watching rockets launch and science go by. But I do plan to do an update probably right after this video, so it'll probably come out later tonight. An update on the map, kind of showing you a few things I did and kind of the progress we've made and stuff like that. Just kind of an overview and to let you know that it's still going strong, launching stuff, doing science, just not a ton of video content from that right now. And then in terms of future content and Factorio content, we have Bob's Angels here, which we're doing, and then the workshops, and then Mod Spotlights as always. But I want to kind of discuss, and I really want your feedback. If you're still here, maybe I should have done this at the start, but if you're still here watching, I'd really like feedback and stuff in regards to, like, I want to do other series, non-Factorio, and why I stumbled there is because, I kind of want feedback on game ideas, but not really, because I've done that before and then just don't end up playing any of the ones you suggest because I'm extremely picky. Essentially, I have a couple in mind that I'd like to play, but what I want feedback on is, like, are you guys interested in, like, non-Factorio games that are at least somewhat in the same genre? Because here's the problem I'm running into. All right, so this may become not so short of an update, but so if just let me know, like, are you interested in stuff that's not Factorio? I really hope you are, as long as it's kind of the same genre, like city builders, management, stuff like that. But the problem is, right, that Factorio is in a slump. It's in a place kind of like the place it was before 015 came out, and what I'm realizing is these updates are getting longer and longer. This is not meant to rant. I could rant. I have a lot to rant about, but I'm not going to make it a rant. The updates are taking longer and longer to put out, and that means no new content for 5, 6, 8, 10 months at a time. And I want to diversify, right? I have other series ideas that don't include that don't require a game update, so that's not like super, super important. But for me personally, it'd be nice to have some new stuff to make content of. But the point I'm getting at is I would like to diversify and have the channel be more than just Factorio. The problem is that that's extremely hard to do. Because it seems like nobody's interested in something that's not Factorio, which I guess is kind of my own fault because I've made the channel pretty much focused on Factorio. But I've seen other people do it, and it's kind of like, I don't know what their tricks are. To use an example, like Catherine of Sky, she's always kind of been like a variety channel, but for quite a while near the start, she was very heavily Factorio focused, and now has actually kind of flipped. And she does a lot of new games that come out, indie games, and really is only doing one Factorio series, but her channel's doing fantastic, and the content is great and stuff. And it's like, I wish I could do that. I wish I was able to do that, or you guys were interested enough to make that plausible for me. But every time I do another series, it just doesn't do well. Like, the first episode or so does good because it's a new series. But then after that, it's like by episode 3 or 4, it's getting like a fifth of the views of Factorio, and it's like, I can't sustain off that. So I don't know. Maybe you guys have some thoughts in terms of like how I should go about that, maybe, because it's I'd really like to move into other games like City Skylines. I've been wanting to play for a long time, but it's like I don't have the time without dropping something Factorio. And I think just adding variety of channel, because the channel long term cannot be sustained on just Factorio. Because what happens after 0.1 comes out, right? It's like, well, then there's no more updates, at least not for an extremely long time, or maybe an expansion or something. So it's like being able to have the channel still be kind of Factorio focused, but be able to still do well off of non-Factorio games is really what I would like. Would be a perfect situation. And there's a couple, like I said, there's a couple games I'm looking at, City Skylines. There's another one that's coming out soon called The Colonists. Mojo actually pointed me onto it. That seems really cool. Kind of like you manage like a group of robots that have been sent to another planet to like form a colony and stuff. Another one is like Empires of Undergrowth, or of the Undergrowth, which is like an ant sim thing, which sounds really weird, but it's cool. It's like a management, like you manage colonies of ants, and like and like, you know, there's like different like factions and stuff, and there's like fighting, and then you know, like base building and stuff like that. You know, it's kind of in the same genre as Factorio. You know, it's not like I'm gonna go to like Call of Duty or something, but it's just like Ostriv, right? Is it comes down to, I'm gonna end this in a second, but I just feel like I need to just be honest. What it comes down to is I love making content. I love making Factorio content. It's getting a little boring with no updates for so long, but I guess that's what it is. But then on top of that, it's like Ostriv, for example, right? Is Ostriv, I was really enjoying it. I still really like the game, and I went up to episode 6, I think, and there hasn't been any more episodes, and that's been because I've been tired and I haven't had time unless I drop a Factorio video to put out an Ostriv video. And it's at that point, it simply comes down to what is my time, like what's worth more for my time. And unfortunately, at the moment, it has to be Factorio, because it's like, well, do I drop a workshop and do Ostriv video? Do I drop a spotlight and do an Ostriv video? Do I drop a Bob's Angels and do an Ostriv video? And it's like, what it comes down to is that the Factorio video is going to do 3, 4, 5 times better than the Ostriv video, and therefore be much better for supporting me. And, you know, it's not all about views, but as you guys probably have guessed at this point, or if you don't know, I do actually make most of my living. I mean, I still work because I can't make all my living yet, but I still make a large portion of my living off of YouTube and Patreon. Actually, a lot of Patreon, thankfully, because YouTube is like screwing everybody over. But, you know, so it's like when I have a choice of 2 games I want to play, but one of them is going to do 4 or 5 times better than the other one, it's like, well, I kind of got to do the one that's going to do better. So I guess the point I'm making is I really hope that at some point we can bring the channel to somewhere where it can, you know, I can just do variety games, at least that are in the same genre, and they'll all pretty much do well, mostly. You know, and I'm not expecting, you know, non-Factorio games to just do as well as Factorio, but, you know, at least somewhat close or consistently like half as well. But with the other games, it's like every episode, just the views just get lower and lower and lower, to the point where it's like it's not really even worth the time to record it. So I don't know. Let me know what you think. I didn't really mean for this to be a rant, or mostly it's just kind of explaining what's going on, and letting you know. So again, I'm sorry about the train set series. Maybe it will continue. I may do another episode kind of as a tour of some stuff they'd done after I had left after the last episode, so I can show that off. Sitting Support is still going, do an update there. Bob's Angel's still going to go, the other stuff, but I would like to introduce some new things, and I'd like to hear your thoughts in regards to that. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for all the support. I really, really deeply appreciate it. The likes, the comments, subscribers, viewers, and especially all my supporters on Patreon. I literally would not be able, the channel would not be a thing right now if it weren't for Patreon, because YouTube is like totally screwing people over with ad revenue and stuff, and Patreon is literally my saving grace in terms of being able to actually make income and not have to just work my ass off all the time at a normal job, and be able to do this. So anyway, thank you so much, guys, and until next time, I look forward to seeing you all, and do take care.